Remember that although Ion Surge keeps Artificer out of the way of most enemies, flying monsters will pose an even bigger threat than usual. When facing a flying enemy high in the sky, Snap Freeze is completely ineffective. Charge Nanobomb requires a direct hit to explode, and Flame and Plasma Bolt deal comparatively low damage. Cast Nano Spear is good for picking off individual flying enemies, but also costs Artificer even more crowd control. If you have heard or read this statement before, you might be entitled to compensation.
Whoever posted that on the wiki really knows how to play Artie, actually. It's crazy. There's a lot of ways to infer what it actually means, because it's just poorly written. But the easiest way to infer what it means is that using Ion Surge makes flying enemies even more dangerous. I mean, it says that, but like, you know, it's like, dude, you can't even Snap Freeze enemies in the sky. It's like, you can't do that anyway. You spawn the wall under me. Wisp is either right below me or... okay. Couldn't find the wiki. I think they finally removed it, or someone finally did, but it is crazy. Like, the part of it is half-truth. Flying enemies can be a bigger threat, but they're also easier to dodge. I don't even think they are a bigger threat. I think they're more of a threat when you're on the ground, to be honest. I think no part of that is true. To me, it's easier just to fly a circle around things. And if they can't hit flying enemies, then just fly closer to them. I don't understand. What's your favorite reloadout? Probably this one, actually. I don't like Flamethrower much these days, honestly, but the M1s and the M2s are fun no matter what. Didn't like using Ion Surge, I still use it over Flamethrower for the pillar skip. I mean, they're both actually okay. Flamethrower could actually do more damage and be more usable. It's a fun way to play, though, but I wish it rewarded you more for what it does. Alright, we'll go back and hit those multi-shots in a bit. Got another increased flamethrower range, removes the sprint flamethrower, that felt so much better to use. Is that next Lars mod? I know we see a couple of those nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like flamethrower, just one of those abilities that was just in from the start, and could have been updated more. Kind of like Eviscerate. It just falls in the category of what I believe to be a little bit weaker and a little bit harder to use, I guess. I guess a more involved type of gameplay. I think there's a lot of like abilities in this game that kind of count as like stage 1 abilities, or stage 1 and 2 abilities, you know? You know the ones that I'm talking about. The ones that are strong early but quickly fall off. Lights Out, Blight, Flamethrower. The ones that are fun but really don't last that long before the game just outscales them. And I think those abilities are fun, I just, you know, over a longer period of time, not as many people use them. A lot of people want to win. And it's not always that the ability is fun enough, I guess. I think Thorn would be cool if it worked like Flame for the ability from Paladins, has long range, keeps in air and long, short duration. I don't know, like, as with a lot of the underused abilities in this game, that's really easy. It only really needs a few tweaks to make them actually good. As to whether or not those will ever be implemented remains to be seen. I could get Gum. I almost want a Wet Item instead, though. I read that paragraph when I was trying to win Monsoon runs. A lot of people did. Actually, we're going with the Gum. That's the problem. Like, the wiki does have a real literal problem with their tips to new players. How many wiki victims are there? You wouldn't know because they just stopped playing. You know what happens to people who get really, really bad advice? They feel like they, you know, can't really succeed in the game and they stop playing. So, bad advice does more harm than, I think, anything else. In games like this where people are just trying to figure it out. That's how I view it anyway. Irreparable harm to the Risk-Rain 2 player's psyche. I know, right? Even if Flamethrower would be buffed, I don't think you can bounce enough would be as good as Ion Surge. I don't know, I think you have to balance things out with how much fun they are. And I think Flamethrower has potential to be fun, but I think for a lot of people, the main hurdle is literally just the sprint thing and making you feel slow. People don't like that very much. So for a lot of people, it doesn't feel fun. And also, it's not that good. So, you know, you gotta pick one, I think. Maybe games are very hard to balance though because things are unfun that fun for one player often end up being very unfun for the opponent. That's very true. But luckily, this is not a PvP game. I think that's, like, you know, when you look at, like, Blizzard games or something, I think that's their biggest problem. And I've talked about that for a long time, too. Really focusing on what is, like, really fun for, like, the experience of, like, oh, yeah, it feels so good to one-shot someone. That's super fucking unfun if you're an opponent, dude. So, there's things like that, right? It's really hard to balance. Yeah, that's why I like this game, you know, you can just make things kind of overpowered. Because they're just fun, like Loader's overpowered as shits, right? But, you know, she's fun as hell, so. I feel like there's a hard limit on how many shurikens I can grab as Artie. Because I only have like 4 shots at a time, and then like the reload wouldn't be that fast. I don't know, I do want some more damage with them too. RNG isn't as fun a game mechanic for the most part. I think it depends. I think it depends on... If we keep the whip right now, we'll be happy. I think it depends on if RNG... Like, the range of RNG is, like, goes from, like, really good or really bad. If it just goes from things that kind of are on the upper end of things happening, like no matter what item I get out of the chest, it's a fun item, I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think if you're like, man, I have a 30% chance to get something literally so horrible, it ruins my fun, etc. It's like, okay, well, that's not... I think that's different. I think if there's RNG that doesn't necessarily matter whether you have fun or not, I think it's fine. And RNG can be pretty fun, I agree. I like playing around the RNG in this game, specifically. Let me get bans now. 8 shurikens with some bans. We're about to do some damage. Thank you. This game is more skill-based than RNG. It's 1000% skill-based. If you lose in this game, it's entirely your fault and literally no other reason. I just want to be clear about that. I like RNG because then it's not my fault if I lose. What if it is? Well, it's a good coping mechanism. There's a lot of things that go into what makes something fun or what doesn't. It's not as easy as sometimes we talk about it. So, but as players, I think it's important to voice the way you feel about stuff. I think it's not as important to give answers. I think it's almost wasted, right? It's better to tell the developer something, how you feel about something, and then let them come up with a solution that helps. But most players don't know what they're talking about, right? They don't know all of the things that went to the decision for why something is the way it is. So it's just, I don't know, they're usually just wrong. But they're not wrong in how they feel. You'll hear the same thing for pretty much any sort of environment where someone makes like a product or like an experience and wants feedback for it. Like even like in writing and like TV shows and books, some reviewer would be like, well, I didn't like this because this, so you should change it to this. And usually what they tell you to change it to is absolutely wrong. But they were right in that something fell off and that it wasn't good. Because obviously it wasn't good. Not everyone liked it, but you can find better solutions. Love a good shuriken run, dude. Even on a character like Artie. Better on someone like Commando, but... Is it more efficient in terms of damage proc bands with your shuriken rather than him too? Probably. How much damage does this do? 1200%? And we have 400% plus 7? No. We're really close, but M2 does the max more, I believe. Still. The fact that it's so close already, but I need to like charge it up to full. Also, if we freeze something, it stays within the fire band, which is kind of nice, which ends up just dealing more. Can it was bad design, not solve it? Yes. That's something to remember when you go about trying to fix someone else's game with your big player brain. That's why, like, whenever people ask me questions about this game, I'm not actually like serious on like the solutions I give, because I know that I'm just talking, but none of the things that like I actually say I would kind of implement, I would do that way. But I notice that there are problems, so. Oh, cool. We've been getting a lot of headsets lately. A lot of people also have problems differentiating bad design and design they personally don't enjoy. That is why you get a lot of testers for things. Because if you get like 2 testers and they just happen to not know the difference, then like what are you gonna do? I'm very cognizant about the things that I just personally don't enjoy as much. Like all the things in this game involving looping, right? I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the Power Fantasy standstill gameplay, but I recognize that it's a huge part of why people like this experience for the Power Fantasy. And they did good in that path, but there is a divergence in the path because Eclipse exists. So this game kind of has 2 brains that way. It also means that just like, you know, you can't get rid of half of that brain. So it's probably what makes this game this game. As a developer, it's usually easy to tell who just isn't targeted audience and who suffered from design flaws. That's also fair though. Game development, I wish game devs would be more open with the direction they're trying to take their game. I feel like there's a lot to that, because like you kind of want to give players the experience when they play it. You don't want to give the idea of your game before it's made either, in a competitive sort of nature. I don't know. I wish game devs would be more open about updates to an already existing game. So I like communication with between devs and communities. I think that's actually really important, and we just don't really see that with every game. For example, this one. Like, honestly, we never really saw it that much with Discovery. Definitely do think there's a limit, but on games that are consistently updated, a roadmap every once in a few months does a lot. True. Many players I know really enjoy command artifact runs, like there's many different ways to play it, absolutely. And I think that's important, right? Even if I don't enjoy it, I would never, ever remove that from this experience. I'm just kind of like, you know, I imagine there's people out there who would just actually literally remove the Eclipse side of the game, and I've heard people say that, so. But it's like, I wouldn't remove your part of the game, so like, leave me alone. Alright, we can go. Unfortunately, there was no... Wait. Yeah. There was no... Scrapper. Okay. Also, the alien head really helps with my M1s for the shurikens, which is kind of cool. I was watching YouTube, I figured I'd come enjoy it live. What up? Thanks for watching the YouTube and everything. I've had a lot of people recently come from YouTube and say hey. It is really cool. I always love when that happens. I feel like I don't really get to talk to anyone on YouTube unless it's in the comments, but like, you know, I can actually talk to people on Twitch. I'm a bit boomer about game updates recently. There's a fair few games where I enjoy them not having a constant patch cycle as long as there are no game breaking stuff. I think it depends on the game for me. But sometimes I enjoy experience, but you know, it's not something I'll continue to play forever, because it's just not that type of game. Like, Risk of Rain, to be fair, isn't supposed to be a game that you're supposed to play forever. I have way long past the expired hours for the intended experience, but sometimes there are games that I just can't let go of, and some games I just do let go of pretty quick, because it's just, that's kind of the intended experience. What do you think is an extended playtime? Probably, at most, for this game. I mean, I don't imagine it goes past like 300 to 400 hours, honestly. Assuming you include Eclipse. If you don't include Eclipse, I think it's like I don't know, half that. Ever tried to consider Inferno difficulty? I've seen it. I've used it in some like Simulacrum or something a long time ago. So I got recent updates, but I'm just not really interested right now. Little Disciple. Now we're kind of chilling. I just seen a boss set on this stage and we're happy. Hey, play forever? I think it's actually possible. I'm working on it now. I imagine there has to be some sort of variance. Like, I think roguelikes are some of the perfect examples of games that are the same, but they can play them longer because every experience is different. Speedrunner's thieving. Yeah, we have a good speedrunner run. Drone Man in the Bortle. Shuriken printer. Headset. Little Disciple printer. Huge. Is that a hoof printer? Holy... I might just take that regardless. But... pretty easy to play for a long time. There's usually a lot of depth in the game. It's really just equal to interact my games with another person. That's the thing about multiplayer games. Multiplayer games technically have infinite replayability. Usually people don't play a multiplayer game forever, but in the same sort of vein that a roguelike is replayable, a multiplayer game is, because it's a different experience every time you play it. Or should be, right? So... Do we want a little disciple? Do we want to reroll into a chirp? I feel like I could use a reroll. Do a couple, see what happens. Perfect. No matter what it is, we're gonna reroll it anyway, so no. Another speed printer? Okay, well, let's see. Gun? Not the type of gun I was wanting. What's your favorite red item plus survivor combo? I don't know, that's really hard. I love ICBM, but even on NG, like, it's good, but I don't know. I like an armor buddy kind of thing. I like Clover, admittedly. Yeah, I'm a basic bitch. I like headset on people who can go up, like Merc and Artie and stuff. Come on, dude. I've gotten so much Bayos recently, it's crazy. Can you get the gun effect with Bayos? No. Some things cannot be done. Shatter Spleen, bye-bye. I'm actually fast-forwarding through time on my equipment. If I do that. Murph? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Kind of want a chirp or nothing. I mean, or little cycle. Let's also get some speed. No scrap or anything, so. Not my favorites. Sucks to lose, sucks to lose. That's fine. There we go. Cheating? Yeah, I won't do it. I won't do it. I just noticed that though. I was like, huh. Okay, we'll take this for now. Hello. Give me another thing. Yep. Headset time? Thank you. Boo. Scythe? Ew. I really did want a little disciple for this teleporter though. It's clearly very good. How do you keep a good mental after a heartbreaking loss? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Honestly, just real dedication towards actually trying to, mixed with I've lost so much in games like this over the years that it doesn't really matter to me anymore. Like, for example, I have more losses on runs that I really wanted to win more than you've ever even played this game. Right, but when I lose, I make a really important note to myself that it's not worth getting upset over. And it isn't to me. And just to remind myself of that. Like, I don't need to be upset to feel the loss or to learn from it. I don't know, when I was a little kid, I felt like I got upset at stuff. And there was one day where I kind of looked at that, and I was kind of upset with that. And I was like, well, I don't like that I do that. I don't remember how old I was still pretty young, but it was a conscious decision to kind of change my attitude about things. I think it's something I pride myself on a little bit. I've done a good job on being kind of mentally in control of those things, or those specific emotions. I don't think it, actually, but no one's perfect at all anyway. I do things in haste sometimes. I'm not perfectly patient. I do kind of want to slug too, but I don't know, it's something I care about a lot. I think if you care about it a ton, it'll become easier to do, easier to be in control of those things. Take it for now, I hope. They don't do like the most damage in the world right now. Do you have any advice for a beginner console player? Absolutely none. I think it's just such a different game and experience that I just have really no solid advice for you. Chat's being haha funny, switch to PC, but they're absolutely right. So, I think the basic things that I say usually apply, just kind of focus on the items more than anything else. It looked good for a second. Prepare in the Murph? Yes. Let's see, you have a billion mission tanks or something. Murphy's better with Chrono, especially with Tensa Bubble too. It has some innate item combo stuff. Owie. When we get Resonance Disc, well, this can go bye-bye. Raincoat, huge. I love brain coats. It's fine. Honestly, I'd like way too much speed anyway. Brendan and I haven't been arguing about whether the artifact command should be in the game or not. What do you think? I think it's fine that it's in the game. Absolutely. If I made the game, I wouldn't have let it count for achievements and stuff. We'll do one more, but that would just be how I do it. But I'd also make achievements that aren't just like get 30 crowbars or something. Like, it's not in Eclipse, which is the mode that is the endgame mode or whatever, right? That's supposed to be like the real deal. And that's all I could really ask for. If it was in Eclipse, I'd say, hey, that's kind of lame. It gives people like really like a nice playground to experiment with stuff, and there's a lot of people who do like it. And I don't want to take away that from their experience just because I don't like using it. Achievements should be less stupid. There are a lot of problems with some of the achievements that just feel like so grindy instead of actually hard or interesting. It is putting up my timer, by the way, on the top right, so it's not like this is absolutely free. 4 seconds every roll, dude. We're scaling the game. I think I'm gonna leave then. I'll do one more. I really want it. It would be really good. Actually, with all these shurikens, it would pop the hell off. Always listen to your gut. Alright, we're out of here. Another thing, you guys add time to the timer when using faster printers. Look up Risk of Resources on the Thunder store, you'll find it. It's like the interactable balancer mod or something. Faster interactable balancer mod. Tesla's better. Tesla Void Seep is good. You got an executive card up there. Finally got a scrapper too. A back and mag printer? Nice. Stop giving me these, actually. I don't want them. I don't think I've seen a trash up yet, have I? I don't think this executive card's gonna really come in handy. Have they vaulted items to address pyro creep? I feel like that'd be not a good idea. If it was a multiplayer game, I'd see that happening, but I think the best thing they can do is basically just kind of do what they've been doing, like how the void items are. Make sure they get, like, alternatives or something, you know? I just feel like the void items are a little bit strong and they only had a few of them. So you pretty much get the same ones you wanted every time, which is kind of the problem. Not saying the system's perfect, but I think it's better than just adding more and more into the item pool itself. Vault Aegis? You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm on Team Vault. That is something I want, actually. 2 multi-shops? I'm down. We'll get it. Ew. I'll take that. Alright, what do we got? Oh boy. Beautiful. What if Aegis was reworked to give bearer on kill that doesn't decay over time? There are a million things that we could say for Aegis being reworked into whatever, but honestly it just needs something. I don't know what it is, but it's horrible and really unfun the way it is to majority of players. It's just not fun. It's fine. Obviously it's fine to exist, but man, swap Aegis with Brooch. Unironically, it would actually be better. Oh, nice. I like Elephant. I'm gonna scrap a lot of items this stage, and we're not gonna really have anything to turn them into. Oh wait, the back of mag. Yeah. We are doing that, actually. Blazing Gut. Simple boss. Our Aegis plus redo with new Annabelle and Raystorm. That was a fun run, but I haven't used Aegis since. No. Man, I still remember the time that I was just watching... I was just scrolling through Twitch, just watching people. So, this guy was, like, new to the game, and then, like, stage 1, he gets a red item, and it's Aegis. He's like, holy shit, this sounds fucking sick. And then we're all just sitting there like, yep. Yeah, you'll see, you know, and then he gets a Shrine of the Woods, right? And he's like, dude, I can actually use this to, like, use my Aegis. That's, like, a cool combo. And he sits, upgrades the Shrine of the Woods 3 times, and it doesn't even move Aegis on the fucking health bar. He was like, oh. What? Instant disappointment. I was like, alright. I still remember his face. So yeah, it's pretty much useless. So, Ignite and Stronger Burn, technically separate debuffs. If you have a gas that isn't ignited by Ignition Tank, and then an ignited gas, yes, they are different. Altering Universe, we're hoping made in Aegis insane. We cheer when we see it in a run. Hey chat, did you know they're adding Aegis to Risk of Rain Returns? Because they thought it was so funny. Because everyone fucking hates it in this game. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Your tips on finding teleporter fast? Look for the little orbs. You see around this teleporter there's orbs flying everywhere? Look for these. They're usually red on every map that's not this one. They're usually always on the other side of the map than you as well. I don't really want that. I don't think I'll need it. AP, I think, or we can reroll the green. I don't know. I think AP though. Okay. Kind of doing damage. Do odd kill items trigger off Umbral clone orbs? The orbs, yes. We should. Beautiful. Alright, we'll grab our elephant and put some backup mags. I'm going pretty good. You get like 7. Okay. I see a white cauldron actually on the right side. So that's good, at least. See a red there. Farther Afterburn is not bad. Can I mark the white from here? See the corner of it. It's like 1 pixel, but I can't see it yet. Oh, I got it. Key? No. Guillotine. Read and scrap? No. Resonance disc? Stop forcing me to take the disc. I don't want it. Another red. It's Kaggers, I think. Yeah. Speed. Alright, well, we'll take speed. Fuck you, buddy. More hard light afterburn time, I guess. He's gonna be frozen. I don't know, we'll see if we win or not. Artie's kind of tough, honestly, when you... But he will be frozen a lot in the first couple phases, at least. But pizza always happens, so... Just, you know. If we do it right, this should just be phase 1, but... I don't want to mess up like that. Every time he gets frozen, by the way, he shoots out a tracking needle, so we gotta be really careful. I love afterburners and backup mags on Artie. I'm running out of backup walls, dude. Okay. Uh-oh. Ow. I should have used my elephant, I think. That was not good. He was going after the drone, dude. Reminder to myself, I have elephants. I can't really freeze them. I do have an opal. I elephanted there, so I didn't realize there was one more pizza for some reason. Timing's a little off. Alrighty. Don't be a loser. Almost as a loser, use elephant. Ugh. Oh, Jesus. I got my feather back just inside the double jump. Good. Good job. That was a little bit sloppy, honestly, but looked like a fun phase 4. It was pretty fun. It was scary. But that's like, that's where it comes into play. Artie's ability to turn around while in midair. It is so scary, dude. Because, like, you do this, look how long it takes. That takes way too long, dude. Even when you're turning, look how, like, you have to, like, rotate. It's spooky. It's hard as Artie sometimes.